Hey guys, I'm Drew Rouse, and I'm the inventor of the real game calls. So basically, what this is a hinging call. It was initially invented as an elk call, and I very quickly realized that I could kill turkeys with the original version. I just make the reed a little bit looser, so that my yelps had a little bit more depth to them. And I started killing birds with just the or with just the elk call initially, and then I started trying to transition it because it would kill birds. It didn't really sound like kind of traditional turkey calls, so people really wouldn't buy the fact that it would kill birds. So I kind of just improved it as I went. And I started selling a double reed version with some cuts in it, and then I started to change the internals of it. So it went from elk call that sounded like to a turkey call. So to get it to go from an elk call into a turkey call to its current state, I've changed the reeds. I've changed the internal geometry of the call so that it has more of a slide. I mean, it slides initially when you play it with the blue reed really well as an elk call, but it didn't slide as much, so I changed the way that it was internally in the call to be able to get that really high front end note and that lower back end note and get it to like sound more like a hen turkey. So it was just a modification to go from the turkey call that I was using initially, which was just a modified elk call, into what I make now, which is a turkey reel. So about 2020 really got into making the turkey reel in its current version, and we have sold thousands and thousands of these things. It's something different. And why is it important that it's something different? There's a lot of really good turkey calls out there, but there's kind of like specific genres. You got your mouth calls, your mouth reeds, diaphragm mouth call. To me, there are a lot of different kind of cuts, but arguably it has a kind of the same kind of flavor to it. And so friction call is kind of the same thing between a box call and a pot call, or there's a couple of different other variations of friction calls. Those kind of have their own flavor. And so, in talking to so many turkey hunters over the years, turkeys get pressured. If you're hunting on like a hunt club, like you're on a lease, you hunt public land, they get messed with a lot. So, a lot of guys I've sold a lot of calls in like Alabama, Mississippi, down the south where these guys are in these hunt clubs together, and they have like a specific bird that they all know, that they all try to kill, that they all feel like he's not callable or whatever. But having a different flavor in the turkey woods, trying a different kind of sound on birds, that's something that's really, really effective, especially once birds get pressured. You could walk on to 10,000 acres where no one's ever messed with the bird, and it doesn't really matter what kind of call you're going to be. That bird has never really messed with. Nobody's ever messed with the hens. It's a completely different scenario than going on to public land in the middle of a national forest somewhere where, there's cities all around and people can have access to that. Those birds are there, but they just kind of learn how to avoid you. Um, you know, Elk, big mature bucks, turkeys, they all kind of learn to pattern us. They live out there all the time. So just being able to vary your sound and sounding like a different kind of call. Um, just having its own unique flavor makes this call highly effective. And I have killed birds all over the country with this thing. Customers, sometimes they get this call and they're like, I'm not so sure about this thing. But once they pick it up and start to learn the nuances of how to play it, this quickly becomes a lot of the guys that I've talked to, their very favorite turkey call. So check it out. New hunters, this is a great place to start. If you're getting started hunting, you're going to pick a place to start. This is a call that's really effective. It's light, it's compact. I carry this and we make a three-dimensional mouth reed. And that's pretty much all I turkey hunt with anymore. So I carry a couple of these in my pocket. I carry a couple of those reeds, and I'm not messing around with a lot of stuff. And I know, a lot of people have their favorite calls, and I'm not saying that those calls don't work or you shouldn't use those calls. I'm just saying this works for me. This system that I've come up with, where I just have my own kind of calls to have my own kind of sound, that seems to be what I'm selling you. Is I want you to sound just a little bit different, have a little bit different flavor, and perhaps understand why this is, by far my favorite turkey call is this little wooden thing right here. It's just It sounds so sweet. It's so repeatable. You can mimic birds. Whatever their cadence is, you can repeat that. You know, that's one of my favorite things to do is to mimic the birds. So being able to vary your sound so much and kind of pick apart what that bird is saying to you, mimic her, that is just the most highly effective technique. I feel like this is the best call for a new hunter because you're getting into it fresh. You haven't learned a bunch of other kind of calls. This thing is light, it's compact. You're going to sound different than all the other hunters that are out there. A lot of them are more experienced guys. You know, they have the flavors that they're used to using. So being able to go into a place where, you know, other hunters are real good hunters are struggling and you're able to just sound a little bit different off the bat, that's going to give you an advantage and give you a leg up in my opinion. But it's just a great place to start because you can pick apart the kind of vocabulary that turkeys have. You know, you can cluck, you can cluck and purr, you can yelp, you can do all kinds of different variations. It's just such a versatile call. You can stick it in your cup holder and you can play it, you know, on the way to and from work. You can play it hands-free. Very, very versatile call. Very, very effective tool for turkey hunters because hands-free option, you can locate with it. You can just do so much different kind of things. And so if you're going to start from a fresh palette and learn a call, I highly recommend picking this thing up and just being like, hey, you know what, box calls are not that hard to run, but this is going to cause you to have to get in-depth the turkey vocabulary off the bat. You're going to want to learn how to do the different kinds of things that you can do with this call, and that's really going to help.